Untitled on the beat.
What's good, everyone? It's your boy Natu with another video for the channel. Welcome back to DMV Sports Zone. And yo, we actually won another game. The Washington football team is now 2-5. You know, in any other year, we would think, oh my gosh, 2-5, another rebuilding year. We've been rebuilding for 20 plus years now, but you know, this year has been very wacky on all matters, particularly when it comes to the NFC East. So right now, Washington is firmly in the number 2 spot in the NFC East, only a half game back of the 2-4-1 Philadelphia Eagles, who are the leaders of the division. And wow, we had a very, very great game today for the Washington football team, which is very unusual. We heard at the beginning of the game, I'll start this off by saying, we heard about the Cowboys' internal struggles throughout the week, and even the broadcasters mentioned it on the Gamecast, on the broadcast today. And yeah, those struggles, those tensions behind closed doors and stuff, that's probably going to only mount after this embarrassing loss for the Cowboys. Antonio Gibson, I mentioned this in the last 2 preview video, guys, for against the Giants and then also against the Cowboys. Antonio Gibson had a good game, and Washington had a very good chance of winning. And my oh my, Antonio Gibson was balling today. I believe he had 120 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and the stats don't really serve him justice for how well he played today. And good on him. I've been telling you guys throughout the offseason and really throughout the beginning parts of this season, Antonio Gibson is an Alvin Kamara type back, and I see big things out of him in the future. He, along with Terry McLaurin, are pretty much, in my opinion, the only offensive building blocks that you have on that offense right now. And I think he'll only continue to get better. McKissick was also very decent as well. J.D. McKissick he's been going under the radar a little bit in the last couple games, but he's been having a couple good games now. And if he continues, man, we got a good stable of backs. Peyton Barber, though, I kept asking myself this throughout the broadcast. Why do we keep playing Peyton Barber, man? I think Ed Oliver was right on something when he said that Adrian Peterson should have remained on the team. And I know a lot of people said that as well throughout the offseason, but a lot of people are saying that because they thought Antonio Gibson was super unproven, he wouldn't possibly pan out, or J.D. McKissick wasn't a great backup. For me personally, though, it's more so about Peyton Barber. Because if you have a thumper like Peyton Barber, a thumper who is averaging, 3 yards per carry, who you only need in short goal line work, or maybe on third and short plays, I would think that you would keep Adrian Peterson right in those situations, because Barber hasn't shown me anything throughout the last couple games. He really hasn't shown me anything, and that sucks there. But I think we're still solid with Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick manning the fort, manning the running back position as is. Terry McLaurin finally had his second touchdown, I believe, of the season, and I started both Terry and Antonio Gibson in one of my fantasy leagues, and I was definitely stoked with the performances, both in real life, obviously, but also in fantasy. And yeah, Terry McLaurin, he didn't go off like many people thought he would, but I did predict, I believe, I think it was Corey's On the Warpath video, along with Pedro Smith, that he would have about 5 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown, and was pretty close there. He was still very, very solid and beat Trayvon Diggs, the DMV native, and Stephon Diggs' younger brother, very bad on a double move. And he was also, Trayvon Diggs and Terry McLaurin were trash talking right before the play, and Terry just got the better of him on the next play, which was kind of funny. There was a 4th and goal inside the 1 yard line towards the beginning of the game, and I thought that the fact that we did not get any points there would haunt us towards the end of the game, but luckily I was wrong, and Washington just prevailed in the end, and prevailed big. There was a big-time strip sack by Landon Collins for a safety towards the beginning of the game that I believe changed the momentum completely and really led Washington to having successful drives after that and really building on that lead. So kudos to Landon Collins for stepping up in this game. But speaking of, he did go out with an ankle injury, I believe, and that really sucks there. I know we always talk about how trash Landon Collins is in coverage, and rightfully so, because he's just been terrible. But he is still a very good in the box safety, and we're paying him a lot of money to do that, and now who knows how long he's going to be out for. Hopefully it won't be a serious injury, but by the looks of it, it did seem like it was sort of serious. So we shall see. That's definitely a big loss there, although Cameron Curl definitely did step up today, and he did have a solid game, in my opinion. Shazer Everett also had some good plays, but they're pretty much playing both of them at the back end, and I believe was tying Troy Apke in a little bit towards the end of the game, but he was more so playing on special teams, and he actually tracked down one of the Cowboys. I believe it was Tony Pollard, who had a very long run after one of our touchdowns. He had a very long punt return, I believe, or kick return, and Troy Apke pretty much saved the touchdown there, so and kudos to him on special teams showing up, because we know as the free safety for this football team, he is not good. He is trash key, as many people say. Logan Thomas. We haven't talked enough about him in the last couple of weeks. He's really, I talked about this on the Twitter page, the MV Sports Zone, at the MV Sports Zone, just a little plug there. He's really been balling the last couple of weeks. He's had a very strong sort of connection with Kyle Allen at quarterback, and the Hokie had probably his breakout game of the season this week. He had a touchdown. He could have had another touchdown. He was wide open. Kyle Allen just didn't find him and was making tough catches down the field. It was even made one catch where the Dallas Cowboy cornerback pretty much had his hands up, but Logan Thomas just didn't really moss him, but sort of did. And yeah, he had a very good game. And like I've been saying throughout the last couple of weeks, if we can just have one other playmaker for this season, then maybe this team potentially could vie in a very terrible division in the NFC as is. So if Logan Thomas could keep stepping up, man, we have a tight end. I know a lot of us, including myself, thought he would be an excellent tight end too. I still believe that. I still believe that we should go after a strong tight end one in the offseason. But if Logan Thomas keeps playing like this, maybe he might push back against that notion. Who knows? But very, very solid game out of the Hokie. Jimmy Moreland had a very good game. He didn't have any interceptions, or I even believe any tackles for losses or anything like that. But Jimmy Moreland, if you saw him, if you actually watched the game, did not just look at the box score. He had a very good game, setting the edge and just playing overall great defense, and did not give up any big plays, and was very solid cornerback. And as a late seventh round pick last year, he's really been balling for us. And I got to give Landon Collins credit. He did predict that Jimmy Moreland on that defense would be the biggest breakout player. And Moreland's been balling, man. Moreland's definitely been balling and has definitely left us wondering if we should even keep Fabian Moreau, right, in the offseason, because he's a free agent. This is his last year. And, man, Jimmy Moreland, he could be a really good cornerback for us for years to come. And I actually met him in last training camp, when before COVID and everything was okay, and he seems like a really good guy. So I'm rooting for him. He's a JMU Duke, of course, so rooting for him even more there. And speaking of JMU Dukes, after Andy Dalton was inexplicably hit on by John Bostic, the terrible linebacker who people continue to overrate, and basically was a dirty play. Andy Dalton got injured off of that and was out for the game because of that injury, and then the JMU quarterback did step up for the Cowboys, and he didn't have a great game after that, because it seemed like our defensive line actually got better once he became quarterback. But yeah, I mean, it's good to always have JMU Dukes in the NFL, and he's another one of them, really. And again, didn't really have too great of a game, Ben DiNucci, but you got to rep the hometown guys. So even if they're playing for the dreaded Cowboys. And Cole Holcomb, he had returned from an injury, I believe, a couple weeks ago, and he's been balling, guys. He's really been balling. He's flying all over the field today. We all knew about his speed, but it was more so his coverage that we were a little bit worried about. But he was just a baller today. He had an interception that was very, very important, because the Cowboys were driving at that time towards the end of the first half, and they scored a touchdown there, and then maybe put up points on their first possession out of the halftime break, then it would have been costly for Washington. But no, Cole Holcomb stepped up, got that interception, even though it was an errant pass by Andy Dalton. And yeah, he was very much a beast, and I look forward to big steps of improvement over the next couple weeks and for the foreseeable future, really, because I think he's a stud. Kyle Allen, I thought he was going to have a bigger game than he ended up having, but I don't think the stats show the full picture of how well he played today. He was very solid, obviously no turnovers, had 2 touchdowns, had great mobility, picked up a couple first downs by his mobility, and obviously through the air as well. So he had a very, very solid game. And again, I know stats might not show it, but no, Kyle Allen, I still believe Ron Rivera is being proven right every single week, every single time he trots out Kyle Allen, in my opinion, in terms of benching Dwayne Haskins and playing Kyle Allen. I told you guys Kyle Allen is better than Dwayne Haskins, and he's been proving over the last couple of weeks, really. And outside of that, I mean, Jeremy Sprinkle caught a pass, which is very rare for him. Caught a pass and wasn't really doing much outside of that, but still caught a pass, which is very rare once again for him. Our secondary has been absolutely balling over the last couple weeks. I know I talked about Moreland and how much he has stepped up and really solidified one of those starting cornerback positions for us, but that entire secondary, man, Ronald Darby's been stepping up. Everybody thought he was done for after the Eagles let go of him and was getting burned coverage last year, but no, he's returned to his hometown area and he's been balling out. We also have Kendall Fuller, of course, who didn't continue his streak of interceptions, but he still has had 4 interceptions in, 3 games and just been balling. Yeah, that entire cornerback group is really good. I like our linebackers right now with Kevin Pierre-Louis and Cole Holcomb. I believe, and I was pretty much saying this throughout the game, I believe we're one solid safety away from actually having a top 5 defense. I know stats right now, they show that we have a top 5 defense, but I mean a defense that will not, their weaknesses won't be shown once they play the better teams. That kind of top 5 defense, right? And I believe we're one solid safety, if not solid middle linebacker away from that actually happening. And I think in the offseason, we just need to address the offense everywhere on that offense. Quarterback, if Kyle Allen doesn't, continue to ascend throughout the season. Wide receiver, of course, tight end 1. I still believe we need to go after 1, and of course, left tackle. So definitely a lot of needs on that offense, but I think that defense is going to be a very good one for years to come. But that's pretty much it for this review, guys. I pretty much covered all my notes. It was a dominant win for Washington, which is, again, very rare for us to see as Washington football fans. And I'm excited because, well, I wouldn't say excited because I always keep my expectations low for this team, and rightfully so. But I'm interested to see how Washington plays over the next 4 weeks because they're going to be playing some very poor teams, and they're 2-5 right now. Again, only a half game back out of the NFC East division lead. So it's going to be interesting for sure. And yeah, they play the Giants, I believe. That's going to be their next game after the bye week because this upcoming Sunday they don't have any games. So in terms of the channel, we probably obviously won't have a weekly preview video for next week because Washington won't be playing, but we will still have our fantasy video that hopefully either Noah and I both will be doing on Tuesday and uploading Wednesday morning, or one of us will. And either way, we're going to have it on the channel so you guys can get your fantasy tips as always every single week. But outside of that, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. So much, of course. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the DMV Sports Zone channel, where we try to post fire content as much as possible, and as well as the DMV Sports Zone Twitter page at DMV Sports Zone, and our Instagram page, all lowercase DMV Sports Zone. But again, that's it for this video, guys. It's always good to have a win, man. The winning feeling cures all things, right, on your Sunday evening, really. And yeah, I just hope this continues. Again, don't have really too big of expectations, but it's a good win, guys. It's a good win.